Hey, what's up YouTube? So today we are going to be installing a Workspell quick release and hub on this MRS. Okay, so before we get into the install, I thought I'd go over what I have for the car. So here you guys can pause the video if you want to get the same part. This is a Workspell hub designed for the MRS. So here in this box you have your instructions, which are all in JDM. Luckily, I'll be able to show you guys how to install it. Here off the bat, you guys will see what's a little bit different than an NRG. The kit comes with a airbag canceller and another plug to make sure your horn works correctly. So what's really nice is you don't have to do any jerry-rigging to make everything work correctly. You won't have a flashing airbag light either. This stuff all comes with a kit and is designed specifically for the MRS or probably other Toyotas and whatever car you have. So this comes with the hub, which is a major plus over the NRG. So here's the hub itself. You guys can see it says made in Japan, super fancy and JDM. One thing you'll notice besides its looks is that on the back here there's a cutout which allows us to use the OEM clock spring. So what the clock spring does is it lets you use and retain the OEM signal light cancellers. So what that is it's the mechanism that lets your signal lights turn off after you've centered the wheel after turning. If you use an NRG and you remove the clock spring, you lose that function, so you'll have to cancel your signal lights on your own. So that is one huge plus of using a Workspell hub. Moving on, this is the actual quick release unit that I'll be installing on the car. It is a used one that I got from Kruber. Kruber is a website linked to the Up Garage retail unit in Japan. So anyways, in my hand, I'm able to tell right away that the quality of this unit is a lot nicer than the NRG. It's hard to describe on video, but just the fit and finish and the way everything looks and feels, it's just significantly different from the NRG. Again, I've already installed an NRG, so you guys can watch that video as well. But once we get this installed, you guys should be able to see if the additional cost is worth the price to you guys. But just holding it in my hand, I'm able to tell right away that there's a significant quality difference.
So we'll unbolt the terminal and take it off.
Okay, so now that we're inside the car, we're going to remove the airbag. So to do this, we're going to remove these screws, which are on both sides of the steering wheel. In order to do that, we're going to use this type of head on the screwdriver. Okay, so once you've got your airbag disconnected, you are just going to unplug this in the back. While we're in here, I'm going to disconnect this little ground here so that we can remove the steering wheel and nothing's in the way. So now all that's left is we're going to undo this nut here. Okay, so now we're going to take our 19mm and we're going to bust a nut. Alright, well that was really loose. Okay, so after you've done that, you can remove the steering wheel and we can take this off, and then we're going to replace that with the Workspell wire. Okay, so here in the box we have these two, which will work as your airbag canceller. You guys can see it's a closed loop here, and you put the two prongs where the airbag goes. And then here we have our horn, which is going to plug into the clock spring. So here I'll show you guys plugging this into the horn location. This clicks in. And then we are going to hook up this airbag canceller, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so now that we have the airbag out, what we're going to do is unhook this from here. So you just pop this off, and then what we're going to do is pull the wires out from this connector and install our canceller into this OEM connector so that we can nicely click it into our steering wheel hub. Alright, so now that you've removed this connector from the airbag, we can go ahead and put the airbag canceller into it so that we can plug it into the harness. Alright, so now we have our airbag connector looped with a resistor, so this will cancel our airbag light. Now that it's in the OEM connector, we can plug this in, do it with one hand, and there you go. So now we shouldn't have an airbag light. Okay, so now I have the hub on, and I'm going to put the nut back on. Make sure that your steering, the top hole is straight if your steering wheels are straight. So hopefully this is straight on. If not, then I'll just have to readjust maybe one spline to the left or right. But anyways, we've got the a canceller tucked in under this rubber part. So this rubber piece comes off and you just tuck it here behind and should be good to go. These are the horn wires and I fed them through. So now we should be able to connect the quick release mechanism. Okay, so now that you've got your hub on, you are going to find out which is the positive wire, and the positive wire is going to be the one that honks when you touch the ground or touch the metal to metal. So this one's positive. I already put the battery back on and tested it, and then I unhooked it again for now, but it was this wire. So this is your positive, and you're just going to run the positive wire through all the red connectors on this, your quick release, which we are going to install next. Okay, so now we're done with the WorkSpell hub and quick release install. All that's left now is to connect the female side to your steering wheel of choice, which we'll do, but this is what it looks like now after it's installed. As you can see, it's a lot more complete looking, and we also still have that clock spring in there so that we have fully functioning turn signal cancel. So here it is all installed, really looks clean. And here's the moment of truth. Pop on your steering wheel of choice. And there we go. Horn check. So this is a Momo Prototipo 350mm, and it feels great. Overall, if you guys want to see here, the install is really clean. It looks almost OEM, and your clock spring will still work. So hopefully that video was informative on how to install a WorkSpell quick release and showed the differences between this one and an NRG. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.